to grow. Okay, if they can get the Arth dynamics and the supply dynamics and demand dynamics, all of the protocol details, if the MahaDAO team can get this spot on, I think this can grow quite substantially in market cap, and it can reward a lot of early adopters such as you and me. Now, just for full disclosure, okay, I do have a reasonable amount of Arth myself. I actually recently added to how much Arth I own, and I am involved in the ecosystem. Okay, so there is two key features when it comes to the Arth token. Okay, the first one is how it holds its value against inflation. So it holds its value as it is pegged, soft pegged that is, to a global measurement unit. Okay, rather than being pegged to the dollar, it is pegged to a global measurement unit which can protect your wealth from inflation. The second key part of the Arth token that you need to understand, okay, is the fact that it has an elastic supply, which I'll explain exactly how it works in a moment. Let's first of all focus on the fact that it's pegged to a global measurement unit, okay, and this global measurement unit protects against inflation. Why is this actually valuable, and what is inflation, and why is it key to have some sort of protection against that? Well, I think this is really why I got so interested in the project in the first place. It was the ability for Arth to act as a inflation hedge, and I've always believed, okay, that when it comes to stable coins, okay, or value coins in this case, with DAI, with US dollar Tether, they all have the same problem, which is that it's a dollar stable coin, okay, and these fiat currencies can depreciate over time. So it really resonates with me, the idea of having a value coin, okay, that's actually going to protect your net worth over 5 years, over 10 years. So if we have a massive dip in the value of the dollar, you're not losing your wealth. And I think that's a massive, massive use case. Basically, the reason it's important is that over time, as you can see from this article here, you can see essentially over time the value of your dollars or your pounds or your euros, it will decrease, okay, and eventually it's going to be worth substantially less than it was. And this can actually be seen from this graph here. Over time, you can see now the purchasing power has gone down by 97%. So $100 in 1913, today it's worth about $3, okay? And what do we mean by this? Well, just the price of coffee is a great way to explain it. So if you're trying to understand inflation, take a look at this here. All right, you can see in 1970, all right, 1 cup of coffee was 25 cents, okay? So imagine in 1970 you save $1,000. Well, $1,000, let's go to 2020, okay, if you could buy a cup of coffee for 25 cents in 1970 and in 2020 it costs $1.59, you've actually lost a lot of your net worth, because you know you're not getting coffees for 25 cents anymore. You're getting them for $1.60. So they're 5 times, even 6 times more expensive. So everything you want to buy with the $1,000 that you saved in 1970 now is going to cost you more. So actually the money that you've got will buy you less now than it would in 1970, which means you have less purchasing power. And the easy way to translate that is that you basically have less money. Right, so this is the idea behind these value coins, these coins that aren't pegged to the dollar and are in fact pegged against some other currencies instead. The idea is that they retain your purchasing power, and I think that is a big use case, especially for the wealthy, especially for people who are looking to protect their net worth. That brings us on to the second part, okay, of the Arth token, the fact that it is a stable coin with an elastic supply model. Okay, so it is an algorithmic stablecoin, but I just want to take a step back first of all and let us discuss exactly what elastic stablecoins are. So as you can see on this article here, stablecoins are a class of cryptocurrency that aims to maintain a peg, so maintain the same price as the value of the reserve assets that are being used to back their issuance. All right. So a clear example of this is DAI. Okay, DAI is valued at $1, right? And there's basically a number of assets that back DAI to give it that $1 value. It's essentially backed by the dollar. All right, so that's the idea between of a stable coin. US dollar tether is another great example. All right, one tether equals $1, and it has a basket of assets, or it has an asset, or it's basically collateral, which backs its value. And that's how they maintain the peg. Now, there are other ways that a peg can be maintained. It's not just by having collateral or assets backing it. It can also be done algorithmically, which we'll get onto in a moment. Okay, so here is the types of stablecoin. All right, so you have fiat-backed stablecoins, okay, where they're backed by dollars, like the Tether, for example. Asset-backed, such as gold. You have basket-backed, which basically has a combination of different assets. You have crypto-backed, ETH, and then you have algorithmic or elastic stablecoins. The Arth Value Coin is a combination of both basket-pegged stablecoins and then seigniorage shares. Okay, so basically the idea is that it's pegged to a basket of assets, okay, but it actually uses the seigniorage shares model in which it has an elastic supply. Okay, so it takes the best from both collateral-backed systems and elastic supply systems. All right, so an example, of course, of this elastic supply system would be Ampleforth, okay? So this is why I wanted to bring up Ampleforth, is the fact that it's the simplest way to understand rebase tokens that use an elastic supply. And it's also the market leader, okay, with a market capitalization of 276 million, whereas Arth is just at 3.5 million. So you can see there's a lot of room for growth for this sort of token model, and if they can get it right, if the Arth token they can get right, it could be potentially better than the Ampleforth token. So we can understand how rebase tokens work, and therefore understand how MahaDAO's Arth token works. Let's take a quick look at Ampleforth. How do rebase tokens work exactly? Well, first of all, you need to understand that rebase tokens have something called a target price. Now, for Ampleforth, that target price is $1. Now, different things happen whether the price of one Ample is above or below said target. So, when the price of one Ample is above $1, something happens called an expansion phase. All right, so what that actually means is that the wallet balances increase for all Ampleforth holders. So it's quite simple, really, these rebase tokens. The protocol automatically adjusts supply in response to demand. So when the price is high, in other words, when it's over $1, you will be given Ampleforth to dilute the total supply and bring down the price. But when the price is low, so when Ampleforth is below the $1 target, your wallet balance decreases. And that will therefore reduce the supply, which will then increase the value of each Ample token. So it's a very simple mechanic whereby users are given tokens and tokens are taken from users depending on where the price of the token is. If it's above the target of $1, they're given tokens to dilute the supply, and if it's below the target of $1, tokens are taken away. So if we take this over to the Arth token, all right, what's really key to understand is it has a target price, just like Ampleforth, of $1 right now, but that target price will change, okay, because it's measured or pegged to the global measurement unit to protect against inflation, like we've already spoken about previously. So over time, this target may increase to $1.50, $2, $5, whatever it needs to, okay, to protect against inflation. And the reason this happens is what this target price is pegged to is a basket of currencies, okay, and that basket comprises of 80% fiat currencies, 15% gold, and 5% Bitcoin, this global measurement unit that we see here. Okay, so as I say, 80% fiat currency, 15% gold, and 5% Bitcoin.